Alrighty, so Marvel had their big panel at San Diego Comic-Con, and I have some thoughts, but let me get some of the dirt out of the way first. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Derek K, the review, back at it again with another video, and for the most part, Comic-Con ends today, and to be honest, I didn't even know it started on Wednesday, because I thought it was going to be like a Thursday to Sunday type of thing, but I'm like, okay, Comic-Con ends today, Marvel's going to go big, and did they go strong? Yes, but then again, no. Starting off the panel, they actually had a choir of Like a Prayer playing with the Deadpool and Wolverine soundtrack. I gotta say, it was fun, and especially seeing throughout the aisle some Deadpools walking around dancing. And I'm like, that movie is still, yeah, that's gonna make a lot of money this weekend. And then they started showing stuff about Captain America Brave New World, and for the most part, revealing a couple things. Like Giancarlo Esposito's character is basically the leader of the Serpent Society, and I'm thinking, okay, that's none of my guesses for the most part. Hopefully they don't waste him in this role because I feel like if you're bringing Giancarlo Esposito into the MCU, he could have played somebody because I remember people saying that he could have been Doctor Doom or at least be Magneto or Professor X, one of the two. But it's like, yeah, one of my guesses I feel like could have been Professor X or Magneto, depending on what version they're gonna actually do with the X-Men. But I like some people's theories on this one. They revealed that Brave New World is going to be dealing with adamantium, and some people were assuming that Giancarlo Esposito's character was actually William Stryker. And I thought, you know what? I wouldn't even put it past them if they did cast him as William Stryker. The cast of the Thunderbolts went up next, and they actually got up on stage, and David Harbour walking around in the new Red Guardian costume, which I'm like, it's cool, and it's like, I feel like Marvel has a thing whenever they do one of the cosplay people, like they had Loki the first time for Guardians 2, they had the Ravagers, and I don't think they've ever touched that for the most part. I feel like the last time they did that was during the whole Phase 4 thing when they had Taika Waititi walk up with Thor's hammer on stage. But that was a cool little nice presentation. The one I really got to talk about right now, and I feel like out of all the announcements, this is my personal favorite. They showed off some footage for the Fantastic Four, and for the most part, this footage is non-existent online anywhere. I got to get a peek of it on TikTok, and I like what they showed because part of it is a bit more in 4:3 aspect ratio, filming it like how WandaVision did the whole 4:3 in the first 3 episodes, and for the most part, showing off a bit of the highlights of the characters Reed, Sue, Storm, and actually showing the Thing in his human form as Ben Grimm, and also a bit of a shadowy figure as the Thing. But for the most part, this isn't actual footage because they said that they're going to start shooting on Monday, and this is like pre-recorded test footage. I feel like, okay, I get the vibe you're going on with here with the 60s, and they showed off the Fantastic Car flying in the air, and it's like, oh, that's the kind of a cool design. And everything within the future of New York, because if you don't know, this movie's taking place in the 1960s, but in another multiverse dimension, which is not the MCU, but they're going to go into the MCU at some point later along the line. I like their version of New York, and for the most part, it almost reminds me a bit of the Jetsons with some of the environment, some of the buildings, some of the particular vehicles, and everything like that. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be a live action Jetsons, and I'm down for it. And at the very end of this trailer, it goes from 4:3 into actual 2.39, and it actually shows Galactus looking in on the building, and I'm like, yay, that motherfucker's big. And also nice seeing a design of Galactus because I feel like we haven't seen Galactus exactly put perfectly, because I know we had the Cloud in Rise of the Silver Surfer, and Eternal showing us how big you can show these Celestials compared to in size, and you get to see Galactus' full face look into a building, and I'm like, huh, how big is he going to be once it's going to show him fight in space? Because that's going to be a big, damn, how do we take this guy out? And for the grand finale, they actually talked about the two next Avengers movies. The first one starting with the Russo brothers are coming back to direct Avengers 5 and 6. For the most part, I'm like, okay, at least it's cool seeing them come back because I know they've done some of the better Marvel movies like Winter Soldier, Civil War, both Infinity War and Endgame for the most part. They showed off a new logo and title for Avengers Secret Wars, and then they went back and backpedaled to, Avengers 5. We haven't talked about that one yet. So instead of calling it the Kang Dynasty, it's Avengers Doomsday. And I'm like, okay, so Doctor Doom is going to play a big factor, and the logo is green and silver. So it's like, yep, Doctor Doom. And then you see a whole new stage of Doctor Dooms walking around. It's like, to cast Victor Von Doom, we had to pick the perfect actor. And you see this one Doom walk up on stage, takes off his mask, and it's Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doctor Doom, which I'm like, I didn't expect that, but I feel like, okay, so they say he's Victor Von Doom, but is he playing like actually Victor Von Doom, or is he playing a Tony Stark variant? Which there's a lot of questions that will get answered as the movies go on, or at least as new information comes on with the further Marvel movies, because I feel like, okay, they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. Is he going to be an Iron Man variant? Is he going to be like infamous Iron Man? Because that mask looks a bit like that helmet design. But I feel like I gotta say my thoughts for this in another video, if I'm being honest with you. And they revealed the fact that the Fantastic Four are gonna play parts in Doomsday and Secret War. So it's like, okay, so after Fantastic Four, we're not gonna have to wait to see them until a sequel or in another movie. For the most part, they're gonna be part of the next two Avengers movies. So we're gonna get basically like a little mini Fantastic Four trilogy. And after that, that was it. They didn't put out a schedule. They didn't put out anything along the lines of with a TV series like Agatha, Daredevil, even What If season 3, and for the most part, some of the animation stuff they have coming up. For this panel, I feel like, okay, there's a lot that is, people are excited for some of these projects, and for the most part, it's a bit divisive because I feel like, okay, the big thing was Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doctor Doom, and that's it, the only thing I'm seeing people talk about because I feel like, yeah, but they showed off Fantastic Four, they showed off a bit of Captain America, and they revealed some new stuff, so I feel like you should get excited for these things because I know Brave New World might be the one that's like make or break depending on how things go. Because I know I went through some reshoots, and there's a lot riding on this one since everybody's not confident enough in Anthony Mackie as Captain America for this. After we've seen him in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that how he actually deserves the suit. But coming out of all of this, I feel like the only one I'm really excited for is Fantastic Four. And I'm like, okay, we get to see a new version of these characters finally being brought justice. And I feel like that movie excites me more since it's like, yeah, I've seen everything from what the Thunderbolts could bring since I've seen these characters and other things. But let me look at the next big thing. And then that next big thing for Marvel is Marvel's first family. And weirdly enough, no X-Men discussion either, because I thought they would have said something after Deadpool and Wolverine where mutants are going to be involved with next. But I'm like, okay, so yeah, hopefully we see them in Secret Wars. Those are my thoughts. And Comic Con has actually come to an end. And I feel like there was a lot of stuff being shown, a lot of things I talked about, and I liked. I do like some of the announcements they've done here for the Marvel panel, but it's like, yeah, let's see how things go with the next one. So, like that, we can actually see whether the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going in a good direction, or hopefully enough, they at least try to fix a couple things along the line, and they could actually do better with their next couple projects. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. All my social media is down in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.